Hermod and the Soothsayer. Once, oppressed by shadowy fears for the future and unable to obtain from the Norns satisfactory answers to his questions, Odin bade Hermod don his armor and saddle Sleipnir, which he alone besides Odin was allowed to ride, and hasten off to the land of the Finns. This people, who lived in the frozen regions of the pole, besides being able to call up the cold storms which swept down from the north, bringing much ice and snow in their train, were supposed to have great occult powers. The most noted of these Finnish magicians was Hrothiof, the horse thief, who was wont to entice travelers into his realm by magic arts, that he might rob and slay them, and he had power to predict the future, although he was always very reluctant to do so. Hermod the Swift rode rapidly northward, with directions to seek this Finn, and instead of his own wand he carried Odin's runic staff, which Allfather had given him for the purpose of dispelling any obstacles that Hrothiof might conjure up to hinder his advance. In spite, therefore, of phantom-like monsters and of invisible snares and pitfalls, Hermod was enabled safely to reach the magician's abode, and upon the giant attacking him, he was able to master him with ease, and he bound him hand and foot, declaring that he would not set him free until he promised to reveal all that he wished to know. Hrothiof, seeing that there was no hope of escape, pledged himself to do as his captor wished, and upon being set at liberty, he began forthwith to mutter incantations, at the mere sound of which the sun hid behind the clouds, the earth trembled and quivered, and the storm winds howled like a pack of hungry wolves. Pointing to the horizon, the magician bade Hermod look, and the swift god saw that in the distance a great stream of blood reddening the ground. While he gazed wonderingly at the stream, a beautiful woman suddenly appeared, and a moment later a little boy stood beside her. To the god's amazement, this child grew with such marvelous rapidity that he soon attained his full growth, and Hermod further noticed that he fiercely brandished a bow and arrows. Hrothiof now began to explain the omens which his art had conjured up, and he declared that the stream of blood portended to the murder of one of Odin's sons, but that if the father of the gods should woo and win Rinda in the land of the Ruthens, or Russia, she would bear him a son who would attain his full growth in a few hours, and would avenge his brother's death. Rind a son shall bear in the western halls. He shall slay Odin's son when one night old. Saemon Zeta, Thorpe's translation. Hermod listened attentively to the words of Hrothiof, and upon his return to Asgard, he reported all he had seen and heard to Odin, whose fears were confirmed, and who thus definitely ascertained that he was doomed to lose a son by violent death. He consoled himself, however, with the thought that another of his descendants would avenge the crime, and thereby obtain the satisfaction which a true Northman ever required. So that was Hermod and the Soothsayer, the final section of Chapter 14 of Myths of the Norsemen by Helene A Guerber, Hermod. I will be working my way through this book section by section, and if there are any other public domain books that you would like for me to read, please leave a comment below. Did you enjoy this video? Then subscribe for more, and don't forget to check me out on Facebook and Patreon. Thank you for listening, and have a lovely evening.